A first full Rugby League Test match in the United States. Rugby League history is made here at the Broncos Stadium, Mile High, Denver, Colorado. It's quite a test for all concerned. It's temperatures hovering around 29-30 degrees. Ben Thaler, the referee here tonight, an English touch judge with Chris Kendall, a New Zealander with Chris McMillan, and should we need it, we've got Jared Maxwell, who is the video referee as well tonight from New Zealand. Robert Hicks is out there as an assistant, but it's a decent crowd in here. They were talking about maybe 20,000 inside the stadium, but it might not quite have reached that, but it will still be a decent crowd to watch this, and Isaac Luke is obviously waiting for a kicking tee to get this game underway. England have played in the United States once before against the United States, and the man alongside me, John Keir, was the coach that day. I think the result was 110 points to nil for England in the Disney complex that day 18 years ago. This will be a very different affair today, John. It
certainly will. That was used really as a trial for the World Cup in 2000, but this is a full-blooded, full-on test match played in front of a new audience, with obviously some of the Brits and the Aussies and the New Zealanders travelling over there. So be an absolutely fascinating experiment, and hopefully a very entertaining game in order for all the fans who are over there and for the viewers at home.
Well, I just got a shot of Martin Tapar showing off with the press-ups. Somebody obviously forgot the kicking tees as well as the lyrics to the national anthem, but here they go, and we're about to get things underway. Isaac Luke back in the New Zealand setup. He missed the World Cup campaign, of course, that disastrous World Cup as far as New Zealand were concerned, beaten by Tonga and Fiji and failing to make the semi-finals, but up against an England side who are fresh, if that's the word. And there we see instantly the effects of the altitude here. The ball is going to travel much further than normal. The kicking is going to be very difficult, and Isaac Luke from the kickoff there completely overhit it, and England get the penalty back on the halfway line.
Yeah, an effect straight away. It'd be interesting to see as well, to see the effect that from the play of the ball with James Rover's pass. He's got a phenomenally wide pass, and it may well travel even further in these conditions.
So terrific opportunity for England in the early stages. Roby out of dummy half. Here's Hill, one of the two starting prop forwards alongside James Graham. Lightweight bench, as has been mentioned in the studio, so the props might be doing more minutes than they would normally expect. O'Loughlin up short, Roby at dummy half. Timari Martin, the man there, who's looking to defend. The ball comes across towards this left-hand side. A little step by Percival. Couple of tackles to go. Hall skipping it back in again. Here's Graham with a step off that right foot, hammering it in. Last play. What do England deliver here? Is there a kick in it, or do they go through hands completely to the end? Bateman, Heku is across there to make the tackle. He's got a couple of teammates too, and it's a disappointing end to the set from England's point of view. New Zealand get the ball back.
Yeah, it was rather a safe set really from England. Although the ball was moved, it was moved well away from the defensive line, and New Zealand was pretty comfortable there, I felt, in handling what England threw at them. But they're very much, both teams, just feeling the way into this game because it's very, very early in the first half.
It's a massively inexperienced New Zealand side at this level, isn't it? 7 making their debut. There's only 124 caps shared between the 17, and to put that into a context, Jared Warrior-Hargreaves and Isaac Luke have 65 of those caps. They have half the caps that the New Zealand team has, so this is a make do and mend at New Zealand squad in some respects.
Well, we'll see if it is, Dave, as the game wears on, but sometimes that naivety and enthusiasm, it puts a different dynamic to the game.
Here's Luke out of dummy half. Cody Nikarima will put the kick high, and it will go high, taken safely enough by Ratchford. Looking to bring it back, he's caught by Asafa Solomona and Jermaine McGilvray. How impressive was he during the World Cup? With all the yards he made, he's lost the ball, and the referee says it was stolen.
Well, that's typical of McGilvray, isn't it? He constantly challenges the opposition defensive line with aggressive carries, and he either gets a quick play of the ball and somebody's left on the floor, taken out of the game, or in that case he gets a penalty here. Is one of the best penalty gainers, shall we say, in Super League.
Here's Graham. England dominating the early possession. Roby out of dummy half. Hill just to his left. Searching tackle from Tapin. Roby. Going with a short ball for O'Loughlin. They're motoring forward with Roby, who's found a bit of space behind the rock. Ray Hargreaves came in quickly to try and slow him down. Hill tapped down, went backwards, so New Zealand get possession back again.
Yes, but you saw the danger there that James Roby does pose, and well known throughout Super League that as soon as there's a quick play of the ball and a man's left on the floor, he'll pick up, he'll scoot, he'll go direct forward, and he'll be prepared to play as well. So good signs initially, but a bit of a scruffy end there with that offload at the end of the set.
And how surprised are you with Wayne Bennett's selection here tonight? No Luke Thompson, of course, George Williams injured. Those are the two that miss out. And the fact that Bateman starts in the centres quite clearly, alongside Percival and Connor and Makinson both on the bench.
Well, he's known for his loyalty, isn't he? And he builds that bond amongst his teams. But I'm certainly surprised that Thompson didn't feature, because in these conditions, I would have expected there to be much interchanging amongst the forward pack, and obviously they've got 2-3 quarters really are on the substitutes bench.
There's Ryan Hall with the return. Max going with a short pass again, and a crunching effort. Percival, a lot of muscularity from the centre on that occasion. McGilvray. So the outside back's doing a job. Roby picks up and scampers. Sam Burgess. They're going at a pace here. Roby again. Widdop looking for the inside ball for Ratchford, who's got that mercurial step, of course, but he's pinned by Tapin. Graham. O'Loughlin. Sam Burgess. New Zealand a little desperate at the moment.
They'll be delighted with that set, though, England, because fully 74 metres plus there. And it was very much a middle channel set, and it just relied on ruck speed and on those quick plays and people pushing and carrying aggressively, and it was very, very effective indeed.
Good effort by Momalo. Typical size of a New Zealand winger. Ken Momalo, one of those who is making his debut here tonight from the New Zealand Warriors, the club side, based in Auckland. First real chance with ball in hand. Essen Masters with a good offload, and Wateni Zelezniak gathers up a few extra yards.
And that's the type of play we're expecting from New Zealand, where there's lots of second phase from offloads in the collision.
Tapau shrugging off one challenge, running into James Graham, getting the offload away. Nikarima goes wide to this right-hand side. Tapin stepping back towards the middle. They're 10 metres away with one play to go. Essen Masters will pick up and has a go. And England's defensive line holds strong.
Well, really interesting, Dave, in that England twice have run the ball on the last tackle, and New Zealand in that set also ran the ball on the last tackle. So whether it's difficult to gauge your strength of your kicking, I don't know, but they certainly used the power play a great deal early in this game.
Maybe that Isaac Luke kickoff has rather spooked them. That was aerial, of course, where we expect to see that difficulty of judgment in terms of how far the ball will fly. It's Roby.
Read that very well there. Peter Hiku.
Roby. There's Graham running away from Tapau, but finding more where that defender came from. They are impressed with the big challenges, the local audience.
And there will be some tonight.
It's high from Widdop. I'm saying Zelezniak has measured it well enough. Well, he's given that as a drop ball, I think. I think he's given this as a fumble.
There's a look at bewilderment there from the fullback, Watin Zelezniak, and
maybe he's just holding the game up
yeah,
because of the head injury here to Elliot Whitehead in back play. Oh, and there's a big hit by Tapau that looked a little late on Lomax.
Well, there's certainly no ball spill, so it must be for the head. I don't like to see that, mate. Once you pass the ball there, it's inevitable. Once you've let go of the ball that you relax, and obviously Martin Tapau's just followed through with the challenge there, and it really taken his toll on Johnny Lomax.
Well, they'll take all the care in the world, and it will be a concern as well.
Yeah, I think he's okay. Yeah, they're just checking, and you see the sweat on the brow. It must be very, very warm.
Well, there's a scheduled drinks break at some stage in this first half as well, should it be required. They will be allowed a couple of minutes to take fluids on board. So, a very understandable precaution given the fact that they've both sides had to travel quite a distance to get here, of very little time to acclimatise to this level of height at which they're playing.
It's the thumbs up from the physio there, so good to see no ill effects to Johnny Lomax, and he'll be back in the fray.
Nelson Asafa Solomona of Melbourne Storm.
Yep,
and he's the man to carry it here as well.
He's a big, big man, isn't he? Makes a heck of an impact whenever he plays over in the NRL for the Storm.
Ray Hargraves, one of the most experienced in the black shirts today. Look. Taylor Mariner. Tapau again, who delivers it back, and Nikorima's there to hand it on to Tapin, who's spinning and looking for a ball away, but England's defenders doing well enough. Asafa Solomona again. Here's Tapau now. Moved wide by Timyri Martin, and Hiku's pinned. Amolo. Suggestion of a kick, and eventually it comes. And it's a dangerous one as well, which is dealt with well enough by Lomax.
Yeah, not really structured kick though, was it? It was a bit off the cuff, that one, and I think really that's a big play for any team when you're on within the opposition 20 metres to either put a contested kick in or try to roll it into the in goal to get the ball back for a repeat set. And a bit of a collision there with Jermaine McGilvery.
There was a clatter, wasn't there? He's behind the 40 here, and this is interesting. This is going to be the first 40-20 of the night, I think. Is it? Oh, it's an odd bounce. It's a very awkward bounce. It almost turned into a dead ball and a 7-tackle restart, and instead Watini Zelezniak will carry it almost to the 30 and delivers well, and New Zealand responding to that kick from Widdop that was almost glorious for England.
Well, what a return, 40 metres there, fully 40 metres from the wingman and the fullback, and I don't think England, I think England were expecting that to go out. There's a break here.
Nikorima with a bursting surge, looks on the inside where he has support, and the opening try of the night will be from Essen Masters. It is New Zealand who strike first on North American soil, 10 minutes played, and on his debut, Essen Masters with a try that gives New Zealand a 4-0 lead.
A really good try as well, but that was all started with the kick return. You know, Watini Zelezniak, he started that all off, but there's crabbing across the field there, just looking for someone to jump the line, but he shrugged him off there, Nikorima, and then supporting on the inside, there's Masters, and I think his goal kicker will have wished he went nearer the post, but it was Johnny Lomax who missed the tackle. Strong play, this Brisbane Broncos halfback. And through he goes, through the defensive line, kept his composure. Ball now goes in two hands, just offloaded inside. And a really good try, but I'm putting that down as well to to Watin Zelezniak's initial kick return, but I was very, very disappointed with England's kick chase, and I think they switched off. They thought the ball was going out for a 40-20, and they didn't chase well, and Zelezniak, he just picked them off.
It looked for all the world that it was going to be an England attacking position, didn't it, to be fair, but that odd bounce that a rugby league ball can take turned it into a New Zealand advantage, which they in turn have turned into a New Zealand try.
And a very good try, a very good try. Bit of individual will-of-the-wisp stuff from the halfback Nikarima. But he's renowned as a good running halfback as well as a structure halfback. And he certainly took the England defensive line on there and shrugged Johnny Lomax off one-on-one.
Jermaine Osaka is the man who's been given the kicking duties here. He's been in exceptional form for the Brisbane Broncos this year. 14 games, he's already kicked 41 goals. And he has put it over. The ball disappears into that crowd. And New Zealand lead by 6 points to 0 with 12 minutes played.
And good value, in all honesty. They seemed England really came out very strong and looked to be dominant early on. But that kick return and the subsequent speed of the play there and the evasiveness of this Kiwi side, fully deserving of the 6 points. And now it's time for England to regroup. And we'll see if Stefan Ratchford puts the ball out. But what they need is a good deep kick-off, a full-line kick chase, and to dominate this defensive set, to feel their way back into this game, because it's a bit of a hammer blow, that first try from Masters on his debut.
He has played internationally before, Essen Masters, for the Cook Islands. But this is his first cap for New Zealand. There's one or two as well who've represented other nations in that New Zealand side. Marty Tapau. Here comes Asafa Solomona. Isaac looking to re-establish himself on the international stage after a while away.
And both teams really will be looking after the ball, because it's obviously very hot conditions and there's the altitude to factor in as well. So, you know, you'll need to look after the ball, complete your sets, and build a bit of pressure.
Here's Hiku. Spell at Warrington last year, of course, when he showed some magical touches on occasion. It's another tester here for England's back three. It's Hall who's claimed it, and claimed it well. He's having a good season on the quiet at Leeds, isn't he? He's the biggest meter maker in Super League at the moment, Ryan Hall. His side might not be breaking any pots in Super League at the moment, but he has been putting in the hard yards.
He has. He's been carrying that team. He's been playing really well as Ryan Hall, and as you saw there, he's so accomplished under the high ball. It was like shelling peas, really, no problem whatsoever.
Roby out of dummy half. Auckland spins it left, and Lomax on the step and almost finds a little path through, but dealt with by Wairia Hargreaves. Sam Burgess. Step by Whitehead, lovely ball as well for Widdop. It was just chopped down in his stride, but England moving forward with Metis again here. Tony Zelezniak looking to get underneath it, and has dealt with that again superbly well, and offering a little bit of a threat every time he carries that ball back.
It certainly is, yeah. Your kick chase has got to be very, very honest and very consistent for England, or else, as we've already seen, he will make you pay.
Saka picks himself up. It's Nikarima who feeds it on again. Isaac Luke just trundles up to the dummy half position at the back of Momalo. Tapau with the offload, a bit of a risk with a Lachlan close by. Masters has sprung the trap again. Essen Masters looking for support. Mairi Martin was close, but not quite close enough. Here comes Nikarima. Good ball out, tap in. Last play. Isaka's going down the blind side. England have to be alert. Flick back. Element of danger here. Chip and a chase by Isaac Luke, and the cover, well, Widdop will claim he didn't get a touch. The referee agrees, and then Isaac Luke just chops him down as he tried to get back to make the quick tap on the 20.
Well, I don't think it was Isaac Luke, but there's certainly a New Zealand player who prevented Widdop taking a quick tap, And had that been in Super League, that would have been a 10-minute sin bin automatically. But they really were causing problems with their offload game, their off-the-cuffs type of play. There's a kick through from Isaac Luke. And he did it. All Widdop did was shepherd it over the in goal. I think he may well have touched that. You know, it might be a dropout under the posts. But they've been given the penalty, so...
well, that's a good effort here from Tom Burgess, fresh on the field. Good carry over the halfway line. Rugby follows that up with a scoot from dummy half, collared by Isako. Otherwise, he might have been through. Lomax. Sam Burgess. Down the middle. Roby, hands on knees, waiting to collect and deliver again. Graham. Widdop. Whitehead to Ratchford, and an opportunity for McGilvray. Look for the offload. Might have got a touch from Hiku, but it went backwards if it did. Well, the referee says no, it didn't. No advantage, New Zealand. And they'll get the ball here, all things being equal.
Yeah, a bit of rush of blood to the head there from McGilvray. It was a well-constructed little play there that released him on the outside, but he just felt, I think it was play 4, tackle 3, so it'd have been better just taking the tackle and bringing the ball back into play with the play of the ball. But he took the chance, offloaded, it didn't come off. Sean O'Loughlin already on the interchange bench. It must be real tough conditions, you know, with this altitude.
Well, they say it takes 10 days to train in altitude before you actually get used to altitude, so neither side has had the benefit of that. So both sides, you guess, are going to be struggling towards the back end of the game. New Zealand, though, have the ball in hand. Joining us late, Essen Masters with a try in 10 minutes. Converted by Osako, the difference between these two sides.
He's had a great start as Masters as well, hasn't he? He's had a try and a line break, so pretty good start in the first quarter of your first test match for New Zealand.
Mustafa Solomona looks for the offload, and Whitehead went hunting and gathers the ball back for England. That's a big moment.
Yeah, that's just what England wanted there.
Here's Tom Burgess again, who's been exceptional. Him and his twin brother George for for Souths rather, this season. With it wide, Bateman cuts back in. They're swarming across because they know his power. Whitehead wants it played quickly. Here's Hill. Thought about the offload, kept it in. Roby's at dummy half again. 5 away. England potentially poised. Back to Lomax. Out and through the hands of Percival. Referee says it went backwards, and Hall's allowed to carry on here. Nice step from Widdop. Loy had a potential overlap there, but he's dropped the ball clean.
Yeah, Peter Hiku flew out of the line, didn't he? And Widdop evaded him. And then he went towards that space, and you thought there was half a chance then. But just a stone-cold drop.
Well, the agony on his face is much about the missed opportunity as the challenge that was coming his way. England have had their moments. They haven't been able to execute so far.
Well, I think both teams are making line breaks, but it's a matter of finishing your half chances. And unfortunately for England at this moment in time, New Zealand have been the only team to do that with their one.
Quite a stir in Denver this week, we're led to believe, with the advertising that went on ahead of this game. England's players involved in a lot of publicity as well. Having a few hits with the local baseball team, getting their names in lights. I think some were more successful at swinging the bat than the others. I think Sam Burgess, you might expect as a natural athlete, was pretty decent. Others less so. Oh, that's very nearly an interception. Tyler Murriner will collect it safely in the end. And a lovely flick pass as well. They're creating things. Masters couldn't quite connect with Watene Zelezniak.
We've got to admire what the New Zealand side are trying to do, and their offload game, the second phase game, is really causing England problems, and especially in conditions like this, because you're having to make effort upon effort to complete the tackle, and they're taking some energy out of this England team.
Well, we're midway through this first half very nearly. I think the referee's called a timeout here so that they can get some liquids on the field. Just to remind you that the Super League show, 3rd of July, the next time you'll be able to see highlights of all the Super League action on a national basis, just after 7 AM, the Challenge Cup semi-final, double-header, 12:15. We're really looking forward to that. St Helens against Catalan and Warrington against Leeds, and the final itself on the 25th of August from Wembley Stadium, 2 PM on BBC One, and then a 3-match series against these same Kiwis. England against New Zealand, the first test, 2 PM. Hull, Liverpool and Leeds, the 3 matches are played. And while they take some time out here to get some liquids on board, we'll do likewise, myself and John Keir, and we'll hear from the guys in the studio. Well, everybody's taken a chance to get those liquids in. 1 or 2 interchanges here as well. Chris Hill taking time off. Scott Taylor is the man who's replaced him. And Jake Connor on for his debut as well. Tommy Makinson, the other debutant in the England 17, ready to make his presence felt at some stage, but it's Jake Connor who's come on first. And just on the issue of Scott Taylor, he wasn't involved in the original 19. He's only been drafted in because George Burgess was injured, and he's leapfrogged over Luke Thompson in that 17 tonight.
Yes, you know, it's a bit of a wonderment for me, is that, because you'd have thought if a prop forward went out and you already had a prop forward in the 19-man squad, he'd automatically take that spot. But Coach Wayne Bennett went for the outsider coming in at the last minute, Scott Taylor.
It's his 4th cap tonight, Scott Taylor, involved in the World Cup, but he played only 1 game against France in Perth, and there he is with his first carry of the ball. Sam Burgess down this left channel, and a little bit of a set-to with him and Warrior Hargreaves. They know each other well from the NRL.
He'll be happy with that, though, Sam Burgess, because what he's done is he's bought some extra tackles for his team, and more importantly, he's bought some territory as well. So starting this set of 6, just 20 metres away from the New Zealand line. But
Burgess again, eager for the contest.
Sorry, Dave, I'm with the guys in the studio. I think there's plenty more points in this, and it will be in part because of the conditions.
Roby, and now Graham. James Graham, winning his 40th cap tonight. He's the most capped in this side, the most capped England player. Gets a golden lion on his shirt as a result. That's a decent carry that has put England close. Roby again. Here's Graham. Whitehead promotes it left. Connor with the first touch. Throws off the challenge of Nicarima. 2 more come his way. Up and plays. Quick play as well. They're going for the line here. Well, Burgess, I think, is going to be held up. Referee says so. And they're going to go back 10 metres and play the ball again.
That's good defence. Slamming Sam there, taking the right option of picking up and going on the last tackle. But that's some pretty good defence. A little high perhaps from Wateen Zelezniak, but he certainly tackled the ball, wrapped himself limpet-like around the ball so it can't be grounded. Real good online defence there from the New Zealanders, but Connor already imposed himself a little with that half break against Nicarima.
Well, McGillivray on the final play will find only a cul-de-sac of defenders, and New Zealand get the ball back again. Tony Zalesniak has really impressed tonight, hasn't he? Both with ball in hand and in defence. He's only winning his 7th cap here tonight. He's been good for Penrith all year. Had a couple of injuries along the way, but has impressed at full-back. Here's Luke. Effort by Leeson Armau, who's on from the bench.
They're very comfortable how they're playing out the New Zealand. This direct way and this promoting the ball in the collision and just ruck speed.
Luke. Step again by Faitala Mariner. Going for a kick here. It's not a 40-20 attempt because he was almost up to the halfway line, but it's snatched out of the air anyway by Ratchford. Teammates last year at Warrington, Hiku and Ratchford. Here's McGillivray. The two wingers have an impressive scoring record. It's almost as if they're not picked for that reason. It's the yardage they make out of their own half, but here comes Hall to add to McGillivray earlier effort. They're both at, well, in Hall's case, very nearly a try a game, 34 in 37, and in McGillivray 12 out of 12. Widdop, Bateman, motoring forward and finding support from Ratchford.
Well, the backs did a great job there. There hasn't been a forward carried the ball yet in this set, so that's a really good set. They've got lots of yardage with the backs getting there, well, working hard.
Again, it's high, and it's
no try.
The referee's already indicated that he's not going to give it England's way. Tom Burgess' rather limp effort to kick the ball and chase, I think, gave that away.
Jermaine Isako there, I think, with a bank to the face. Just getting a bit of remedial treatment. Certainly lost the ball. He's lost the ball forward, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That should be England's head and feed.
Well, you can't say that it's a challenge in mid-air because
both
Percival's quite clearly going for the ball.
Percival's eyes are on the ball just as Isako's are on the ball, and he's just caught with a drop. So if Percival's penalised for that, I think that's a pretty harsh decision. For me, that should be head and feed to the England side.
A couple of other internationals today, by the way, in case you missed it. Both of them in Campbelltown. Tonga, who we last saw in that World Cup semi-final, that never-to-be-forgotten World Cup semi-final against England in Auckland last November. Well, they have beaten Samoa today by 38 points to 22. There's talk of them playing against Australia at the end of this year. And a terrific win for Papua New Guinea as well, who beat Fiji by 26 points to 14, also at Campbelltown. So the Papua New Guineans coming on strong, and England Knights, of course, are heading out to Lae and Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea at the end of this year. So the PNG Kumuls are going to be tough opposition. The senior England side, as we see, will be up against this foe throughout the autumn. The referee has given it as head and feet to England, so it is the correct decision according to John Keir. And it's Ryan Hall who's feeding the scrum here. Roby comes out at the back of it. England looking to play. Widdop. 16 minutes of the first half remaining. Taylor with a big carry and still pushing hard. Scott Taylor. Look at the big fellas hanging off him, and he still made a yard or two after contact. Roby back on the inside. Tom Burgess with a push and a real effort is over the line to score. Well, the referee wants to look at this again, but Tom Burgess is absolutely convinced. Try on the field given, but the video referee here, Jared Maxwell, has to make the ultimate decision. But what an effort that was from Tom Burgess.
Yeah, he's been in good try-scoring form, hasn't he, in the NRL for Souths, and Just a ball around the back.
Is he looking at the obstruction?
Yeah, I can't see anything wrong with that. I think Leeson Hamau, I think he bit in on James Graham, and that produced that bit of space there for this big man to crash over.
He's short, and
well,
that's the question. He was short when he hit the ground. Did he lose control? Was there promotion of the ball, or is this all momentum and fine? And the crucial thing here is the referee on the field has given try.
Yes. So it's got to be definitive evidence to rule it out. But it's whether he's lost control of the ball there. Because I don't think there's any problem with the momentum, especially if it's played in real time.
Yeah.
But it's whether he's actually lost control of the ball in a forward direction.
James Fisher-Harris had a hand in there as well. He will claim that he
grounded it.
He maybe pulled it away, but Tom Burgess is having none of that with that celebration. We aren't privy to the conversation that's going on, but we will in a moment find out what decision has been given, and it is no try. So the efforts of James Fisher-Harris, enough to get that ball away from Tom Burgess at the crucial moment, and England are denied their first score.
Yeah, you sense there's a bit of inevitability that England were going to score. Especially once Taylor had been such a handful and stood up to play the ball with 3 or 4 New Zealand players around him. I think it's just been ruled that Tom Burgess lost control, and that's blessed relief for the New Zealand side. I'm certain this will be a pretty conservative set where they'll just look to clear their own line, go as far as possible. You can see there's 17 tackles that England's had on the New Zealand line virtually, and yeah. It's credit to the New Zealand defence.
Well, it's a concern. In terms of England performances, you've got to go back to that semi-final against Tonga, and a good way back into that game since they last scored a try, of course, held pointless against Australia in the final in early December.
I think they're taking a lot of energy out of this New Zealand team by camping on the line, asking questions, because the urgency in defence is obviously a great deal greater when you're within that 10-metre zone. So they'll be taking some energy out of New Zealand, so they'll feel pretty at ease at this moment in time, but that's a great carry there.
Fisher-Harris of Penrith, picked up by Luke, and on it comes again. Here comes Leeson Armour, who's got the ball away. New Zealand with a chance here to break the line again. They've done that regularly. Masters is the man. Well, he can't provide the pass for Isako to score. But every time he's had the ball in an attacking moment, Essen Masters has looked a real handful for that England defence.
Yes, he is a handful. I think that's a great description there. He comes onto the ball very aggressively, times his run really well, but I think the thing that does let him down is this piece of skill here, which is pretty much a simple 2-on-1 pass, but not executed well enough. But he's certainly breaking that. He scored a try, and there's been 2 clean line breaks from the right centre. So that's something that the left side of the England defence will have to fix up. And a bit of frustration there from Martin Tapau.
He's not happy, is he?
Well, you could argue that should have been finished, Dave.
Yeah.
Because at this level, once you make a clean bust, it's 2v1, it should be curtains.
Here's McGilvray. Roby. Bateman. So Bateman back in the middle now, with Connor on the field.
I think Connor's playing 6. I think he's taking Jerry Lomax's place,
hasn't he? Yeah.
Yep.
There's Makinson on the field as well, though, making his debut. Tom Burgess. Roby. Here's Graham. Taylor. Widdop is going for the tester here. Not back by Makinson. McGilvray can't pick it up, but England still have it. It's still the 6th. So there's an element of adventure about what comes next. The kick is a long one and caught on the full by Isako, so it will be attacked back on the 20.
Yeah, it was a poor kick, really, wasn't it? Just too easy there for New Zealand to clear it up, and because he's caught the ball in his own in-goal area, it now becomes a tap, and that's a 7-tackle set, so they'll really march England down the field this set.
Here's Marmalo with the offload. Mustafa Solomona.
Well, it's obviously Michael Maguire's game plan, isn't it? Run hard, carry, try and promote the ball in the collision.
First game in charge, of course, for the former Wigan and Souths coach Michael Maguire. Grand final winner with Souths, 6 seasons there. Challenge Cup grand final winner with Wigan. Isaac Luke plotting a path and finding a way through and delivers a pass back on the inside. And Watain Zelezniak will score. New Zealand second. They've broken them apart several times in this first half. And for the second time, this one is definitive. And Watain Zelezniak deserves a score for his efforts in this first half.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, hasn't it? But once again, it's Solomona there with a cute little offload there. Great skill there. And Isaac Luke on hand, evades a couple of challenges. And then as all good fullbacks should, just tracking the middle channel, Watain Zelezniak pops up on the end. But some good skill there from Isaac Luke. Ball in 2 hands initially, and back in 2 hands just as the fullback comes across Ratchford to release his own fullback, Watain Zelezniak, for the 4-pointer. Good try, New Zealand, and they'll be absolutely delighted with their first half hour.
Well, he's a man on the rise, Watain Zelezniak, in terms of international rugby league, and the man who provided the pass is the man who's on the return, Isaac Luke. He really has been missed from the international stage, hasn't he? He's a proper character.
He's a competitor.
Not everything he does on the field meets with improvement.
But you know what, you're going to get enthusiasm-wise and energy-wise, week in, week out with the fella.
Sako's got the chance to turn the 10 into 12. Which he has done.
Just as with the Brisbane Broncos there. Sako nails the kick. And worrying times for the fellas in white.
New Zealand have been a bit of a bugbear in recent years, haven't they? The Four Nations that was last played over here. And they got a narrow victory at Huddersfield to deny England a place in a final against Australia. The English were scheduled to meet them in the semi-finals of the World Cup, but of course New Zealand's plans didn't go as they expected. They bombed out of the competition at the quarter-final stage.
It's a matter of regrouping for England, isn't it? And Wayne Bennett's side's a renowned as good defensive side, and you know, 5 line breaks, it's a bit of a concern. And then first carry of the next set, they've won a penalty.
Sean O'Loughlin knocked one back on the field as well. First New Zealand penalty of the night.
You can see them growing in confidence, okay, the New Zealand side.
Well, he's gone for distance there and he's found it. That was some confident kick. Anything they can do to keep cool on a hot evening. It's Tapi. Isaac Luke. Mustafa Solomona.
Been really good, hasn't he? And played the full 30 minutes up to now.
Look back on the inside. So Mairi Martin, who we've not seen too much of in this first half. Tyler Mariner, off they go again. Here's Fisher Harris. Well, they're dangerously close to the England line again here. They've still got a couple of tackles to go. Isaac Luke picks out a dummy half, he lays the pass, and a big effort from Armau, but equally a big effort from the England defence. Well, the referee wants another look at this.
I don't think he scored that.
I'm not sure he got the ball down.
It's short for me.
Well, he says no try on the field.
But again, it was interesting the play before.
It's interesting looking at the body language of the England players there.
Yeah. James
Ruby looks absolutely goosed, and Tom Burgess, who's not been on the field that long, likewise.
Well, here it is. Certainly carried left English players in his wake.
Well, what's he looking for here? Because he got nowhere near the line.
No.
even at the end when there was a bobble there, and he's still a good 6 inches short from where he would want to be. I think there's only one decision here.
Yep.
No try.
Winning though once again, wasn't it? It was interesting the play before that when the New Zealand player carried the ball, Stephen Ratchford was defending in the line and he tied Ratchford up, and then it was a quick play the ball from that, and almost a try there, but not quite. But England just needs something before half-time to hang the hats on during the half-time break.
Well, they've 9 minutes to survive here, if that's the word. 12-0 at the break is not too disastrous. Desperately love to get something on the board at the other end. It's Roby. Ryan Hall with the first carry. Running straight at Joseph Tapine and getting up and playing the ball very quickly as well. That helps England's cause. Here comes Percival. Again, quick to deliver with the boot back. And England are already up to the 40-metre mark. 3 tackles gone. So far, so good in this set. Whittup. New Zealand line advances out.
Good read that, wasn't it? From the left winger.
Whittup. Little show, and here comes Makinson. He's been tormenting defences in the Super League all year this year. Lachlan, big pass wide to Ryan Hall, who scores! Have no doubt about that. The referee will go for the video for clarification, but how many times have we seen Ryan Hall given that kind of opportunity, and how many times does he deliver?
Well, that was a fantastic set, that was, and it started with Hall right at the other end of the field, getting the side going forward, and it finished with a lovely long pass from Jake Connor to Ryan Hall. There's plenty of pressure on him there. His feet's in the air, the ball's grounded in the in-goal area. I don't see a problem with this.
He's an acrobat in a monster's body, isn't he, Ryan Hall?
He's a very big man, and for such a big man, he's got great agility. I don't think there'll be any problem with this.
They're only looking at one angle because it was so clear and precise. The finish was exemplary again from Ryan Hall. His 35th try on this, his 38th England appearance. That is sensational.
Yeah, he's got a great strike rate, hasn't he? He really has. There's some good play there. As I said, I think that's the best set England have had. Started off down this left-hand side with the quick play from Hall. Percival carried it on. And then a good shift here. Lovely wide pass from Roby. But this is the money ball from Connor. Straight across the face of 2 players there, 2 England players, to find Hall, who's holding his width right on the whitewash, and a question mark of whether he dropped the ball
well,
there.
We'll give it him. Well,
yes,
they have given it him, so.
They can't strike it off now, but I'm sure New Zealand will be less than happy, shall we say, with that decision, because from that angle, it certainly looked to be separation. And just to compound things for the Kiwis, they've tagged the 2 on as well, so it's 12 points to 6, just what we were asking for before half-time.
I was going to suggest that won't do any harm to Jake Connor's confidence coming on and delivering that kind of pass, but you suspect there was no problem with his confidence in the first place.
Not at all. And I thought Tommy Makinson as well in that, he played a significant part as well in that set of 6 earlier on, so the 2 guys off the bench, the 2 3/4 off the bench, good impact.
So just what England needed to lift their spirits as half-time begins to loom here. And here's the man on the other side. He had the more eye-catching World Cup finals, didn't he? Jermaine McGilvray. Ryan Hall less so, but nothing short of eye-catching Ryan Hall's involvement in this game so far.
I'll tell you, Scott Taylor's made a good impression as well, hasn't he, since he's come on.
There's Sam Burgess. Up and plays. Roby quickly delivers it back to the middle again. Lachlan with a pass. Connor's getting involved. Looking to take them on. He'll be having a word or 2 in their ear as well. See an injury there for Elliot Whitehead. Here's Bateman. Roby quickly in position. 6 tackle. Lachlan will know that. What do England do? He puts a little slide kick in. Whitehead is after. Hiku has got it. Have they trapped him? He just landed the ball in the field of play, which is a big result for New Zealand.
Yeah, it looked for all the world, didn't it, that it was a repeat set, but he did really well, Hiku, and once again the New Zealand three-quarters now trying to get the Kiwis on the front foot.
Rugby's involved in defending here. Putting down the man Isako. And it's a 40-20 attempt from Isaac Luke, and look at that. That tells you all you need to know about the effect of altitude here. He was well behind the 40, and the only concern he would have had was whether the ball was going to go behind the dead ball line.
That was a great kick, wasn't it? Straight out of dummy half, so it's difficult to put pressure on the kicker. And my word, he launched that, but as you say, they say when golfers play at altitude that the ball travels 30-40 metres more. Well, that arrowed through the air, didn't it? And tremendous 40-20. So now the restart is with a tap 20 metres in from the sideline. It's a great opportunity for New Zealand deep inside the England half.
Ben Thaler making sure England's defenders are back on their line, and Asafa Solomona doing his best to keep them honest as well here. But he's held up. I'm not sure how he saw that, but he has been held up.
He's been tremendous, you know.
Asafa Solomona.
Certainly, well, he hasn't had a break.
Sam's just
yeah, just a bit of a
trying to pop his balloon.
The referee just going to, I'm certain, have a word with Slamming Sam.
There's a chance to everyone to have a break here, not
yes,
least the referee.
Yeah.
I think the referee will be feeling it. Just call somebody out and have a word, but we'll take our time. Well, there you go. Melbourne against Souths. England against New Zealand. And Isaac Luke for once the peacemaker. There's the moment that caused the...
Yeah, I think that's what Sam Burgess took exception to. And you can understand why.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of wisdom here and experience from Burgess, because it has also given his teammates a chance to get some oxygen back in their lungs for some very important defending here. They can organise themselves in defence and prepare themselves for what comes next after this little break. 4 minutes to play in the first half. It's been a decent test match so far. Itala Mariner. A couple of strides away. Isaac Luke at dummy half. This is taken in by Esse.
They like the route one way, don't they? Big men carry strong.
Isaac Luke again. Back it goes to Nikarima. Trying to draw in the fancy backs here, but Masters this time is dealt with sufficiently well by Percival, who got in and hard and put him down. The pass is scruffy. So Asafa Solomona has no option but to drive it in and set the platform here for the final play in this set. Here it comes. Look again. Nikarima. Ball back. Good hands. Nikarima. Again, the handling is exciting. Fisher-Harris. Away by Asafa Solomona. Step back on the inside again. England's defence is firm. An act of desperation in the end from the Kiwis to keep it alive. And Rugby has it, and England have it.
They're making them work, though. These offloads really does make you work. You've got to stay up in your defensive line. You have to map and follow the ball whilst you're staying square. So you're not only having to work physically, having to concentrate mentally as well.
There's Hall. Toe-to-toe with Fisher-Harris. Oh, another big effort. You can feel the hits.
He's dropped the ball as Tommy Makerson.
He's given a penalty.
Yeah. He didn't hold back there with his carry, did he, Tommy Makerson?
So Whitehead can find touch again here, and again it's a very decent distance he's found. You cannot afford to give a penalty away, can you? Because you're defending your own line very quickly soon after. Here's Tom Burgess. 2 minutes and a half remaining. Can England find parity before the hooter sounds? Sam Burgess. Roby. Sam's looking a little worse for wear at the moment. Oh, and a striding effort here from Whitehead. who's found the gap. Wonderful ball to him, and he had the angle to get himself through that New Zealand defence. And England are only 2 points behind now, with a conversion to come.
Well, we've admired New Zealand off-the-cuff offload stuff. This is a set play, set shape that England play. And my word, did the time that so well. Not only Connor with his pass right in the teeth of the line, but also Elliot Whitehead there. Carried so well. He just timed it so well, hit the gap so hard, and took the cover defender over the line with him. And all of a sudden, should the try be converted, we're even Stevens, and it's been a very good first half.
And a very good involvement from Jake Connor now. 2 try-scoring passes. 2 assists. They both needed finishing, but they were 2 very good passes.
Well, to say you've been on the field just over sort of 10 minutes or so, and you've come up with 2 assists as a half-back, a standoff half, you'd be very pleased, and that's what the fella's done, but he finished that really well.
Elliot Whitehead, one of the Aussie posse. Here's the other, or one of the others, Gareth Widdop, these days with St George. Points leader in the NRL this year, Gareth Widdop, 147 points to his name so far, and one of the reasons is he's very good at kicking goals. And speaking with him in the World Cup, he has various tattoos of St George and lions and dragons on his body to just underline how proud he is of playing for England, and we've just put the curse on him because he's not very good at kicking that goal. He's put it wide. It remains at 10 points to 12.
Well, I think 12-10's a decent reflection, to tell the truth, of the first half, because credit England with fighting back. I thought they started very sprightly, but they fought back very gamely. But the sort of the middle part of this first half was very much the men in black, the New Zealand players.
Well, sorry, John.
The contrast in styles, I think, has been fascinating. New Zealand with the direct carries, their offloads in collision, and England with their shape, their structure. And at the minute, it's virtually even, Stevens, so both paying dividends.
I was going to say, as slow as New Zealand are wandering back to the halfway line, it's how quickly the touch judges get to the corner flags before the referee stops the clock. And both touch judges, Mr. Kendall and Mr. Macmillan, have travelled well at altitude, so that's why the referee stopped the clock with 13 seconds of the half remaining. England should finish the half with ball in hand. Whether they can go the distance from here is another question, but they'll be very happy with the final few minutes of this first half. The strangest sounding hooter you'll ever hear in rugby league has sounded. There's 1 or 2 quirks and oddities about this match in Denver, but for the most part, it has been very enjoyable. And England very much back in the contest, trailing by 12 points to 10. They were trailing 12-0 at one stage. Watane Zelezniak and Masters, the try scorers. What a fascinating first half, and more of the same, I'm sure, in the second half here. Plenty of points, as the fellas in the studio are saying, on offer in this second period, as heat and fatigue begin to take their toll here. Not that they haven't already in some circumstances, but we should see plenty of points. It's only the 17th meeting this between England and New Zealand, which seems an odd fact, but of course England have played under the banner of Great Britain for so many years, but as England, they played New Zealand only 16 times before. New Zealand have the record. Oh, there's a famous face in the crowd. He's a big Souths fan, isn't he?
I believe
Russell
so.
Crowe, who'll be here to see his boys, the Burgess brothers, and enjoys his rugby league, of course.
I'll tell you what, Dave, one thing about this game, it's been a real good first half, and hopefully the second half is good, but it shows these fellas care, and these fellas want to play international rugby league. And I think it's a big statement that they're putting on by the quality of their performance.
Well, you have to say, one of the reasons why this match is taking place, because a lot of people in the NRL, a lot of clubs in the NRL, we're led to believe, didn't want it to happen. It was the strength of feeling from the English-based players over there, the likes of James Graham and Sam Burgess, Elliot Whitehead, Gareth Widdop, that actually got this game on, because they said, we want to be here. We want to make a bit of history and see if we can promote rugby league. It's not just about the crowd inside the stadium today. About 20,000, we believe, scattered around. They're coming and going as the match goes on. But it's also the audience that'll be watching on across North America United States and Canada as well. So here we go, second half. Stefan Ratchford gets boot to ball. It's a decent flight he's found. And a first hit back by Ken Momolo. So how's it going in this second half, John Keir?
Well, I think it'd be very much look after the ball, make sure you're complete, and make sure you get some field position as well, because the conditions are bound to play a factor, as the guys in the studio have said. And I think the team who has most possession in this half will end up as the winners.
Has a look at a dummy half and looks to his right-hand side, and here's Leeson Armao. First cap here, but very experienced. 16 caps actually for Samoa. Leeson Armao, who's got a penalty here.
Yeah, I think that's only the second one, isn't it, that the New Zealand team have had. 5 to England, and now the second one to New Zealand. So that would be very welcome.
One of those
some field position.
One of those Samoan caps, by the way, that Leeson Armao won was against England last May. So he's lined up against them for 2 different nations in the last 12 months or so. Tap, restart. Sako, here's Nikorima across the line, they come again. Itala Mariner. He'll be up to play, Isaac Luke. Nikorima offering it back on the inside again. Effort by Tapi.
They're working the middle channel over at this New Zealand team. Inside ball, strong carries, direct.
Well, they find themselves in excellent position here early in the second half, with still plenty of place to go. The rush out there to close them down by Percival half worked, because it put them off the stride. Makinson rather put them off the stride, and New Zealand just lost a bit of momentum, but they haven't lost the ball. They remain poised.
Good footwork there from Leeson Armao.
Look at a dummy half, he's lost the ball, and it will be England who'll get it back again. No advantage, so head and feed for England at the scrum.
Yeah, what a good job there by Elliot Whitehead. He really put pressure on Isaac Luke, carrying the ball in 2 hands. Went to make the tackle, make sure he grabbed at both hands. And out it comes. Really good work there from Whitehead to defuse that potentially dangerous situation for England.
He's potentially leaving the Warriors at the end of the year, isn't he, Isaac Luke? That'll put on alert 1 or 2 of the NRL, maybe even some of the Super League teams. 31 years of age, but still plenty to offer, you'd think, for the next couple of years. Here's McGilvray. Whitehead. Refusing to go to ground here. Roby again. Here's Bateman. England struggling to get away from their own territory at the moment. 3 tackles gone. Roby picks up 30 yards from his own line. Lachlan rushed at by those New Zealand defenders. Well, he's got the ball away, but I think the referee had said held already.
It called held a couple of seconds beforehand there, so it's back to Sean O'Loughlin to play the ball and restart the set.
Here's Burgess, Tom. Roby, this is the 6th. So it's gone high in the air from Widdop, inviting Martin Zalesniak to come out, and he's looked very solid. He's taken that almost on his knees, but you never sensed he might lose it, although he has hurt himself in the process.
He took that really well, didn't he? Because it was a steeplingly high kick. But eyes on the ball all the time, and it's whether the referee deems as contact with the head there from Sam Burgess. But that's a good take, you know. It was a difficult kick to take, and yep, just caught him on the melon, and a little bit extra from Scott Taylor, from Jake Connor, sorry.
Well, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because when a player's going down like that, it's difficult not to strike the head, but the defender has the duty of care not to do that, and the referees will take a dim view if they do. And Taylor's just calling for a little calm here. Old friends from Super League, Ben Taylor and James Roby.
Tackle can't restart it.
He's not given it as a penalty. He's just says play on once the player's fixed up. Isaac Luke. To Southgate. Still going, Asafa Solomona.
He's a good player.
It's 44 minutes non-stop so far, which in the modern era for a prop is pretty impressive. Oh, what a great interception! Wonderful hands from Elliot Whitehead, and he caps that all off with an offload as well. Well, a tip and a dive.
Thought it was in the slips there at Lords, didn't you? Great catch, that.
Well, we've seen goalkeepers at the World Cup and FIFA World Cup with clumsier hands than that. And he's given England a wonderful advantage here. Roby. McLaughlin. Wriggling to get to his feet. Not able to play it as quickly as he would have wanted. Sam Burgess. Roby bats it back again. Bateman down the middle. Away to England, drawing a little juice out of this New Zealand defence with their offloads here. Here's Whitehead.
It's very difficult to put down, isn't it, Elliot Whitehead? He stands there and bridges and challenges the opposition to actually wrestle him to the ground, and he's earned himself a penalty here. Did they go and make it even Stevens? Or do they keep attacking? The latter, I believe.
Yep. They're going to take the tap and roll it on here. They want 6, not 2, and they're in a great position. Tom Burgess, 10 metres away, 3 defenders around him. Here's Roby, marshalling in at dummy half again. Looks to his left where Bateman's waiting, and Bateman will be enjoying this position more than he does in the centres. He does a job out there, but this is his natural role.
Isaac Luke there, just watch it as John Bateman's hand, his right hand. It will be very interesting to see the replays of this, because Bateman's hand is on the floor, and just watch Isaac Luke as he's returning to his defensive line. So there's the tackle there. Watch Bateman's right hand.
Yep. Well, Bateman thought it was the man who was on top of him that was doing that.
Yeah, well, he would take exception to that. But it's down there. Just has a little look.
He knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
He does.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
That's 10 minutes for me.
Well, that's the part of his game we've not missed.
No. We enjoy his energy and his enthusiasm, and you know, his work out of dummy half, but that's a bit cheap.
Well, he did brag after one game that he'd intentionally tried to break an England player's leg, hadn't he? A couple of years ago.
Well, he should be sat down on the sidelines for 10 minutes so that his team suffers for actions like that.
Well, it's cheap. That's the thing, isn't it? It's cheap. In a tough game,
yep,
to do a trick like that is just pretty low. Well, he's having a word here. Will he be fiddling in his back pocket?
Well, it's apparent what's happened, so for me, he should be sat on the sideline for at least 10 minutes.
Well, England, I think, will get the penalty here. The referee's just having a word with Sam Burgess about retribution. Leave it to me, son. I'll sort it out. What's he giving here? Ben Thaler. Penalty for England. Well, very kickable. It's a gimme 2 points. Do they go for the 2 here, or do they roll on again?
They go for 2.
Yeah. New Zealand have had the rest as well, haven't they? So they're not quite teetering as they might have been.
It's like a little 6-inch putt for the golf, isn't it? It's a gimme, so may as well take it, get on even Steven terms, and start again.
Well, right in front of the sticks. Should be 2, and is 2. So it's all square with 4, or rather 6 minutes of the second half played. England 12, New Zealand 12, and here's the reason why.
Yeah, well, it's an obvious penalty, and it's obvious to see why John Bateman reacts like that. But the net result is 2 points that England have duly taken. And it's all square once again. All to play for.
Well, his first kick of the day sailed out of play. He's gone a little lower this time. He's taken the 7-iron, hasn't he? Off the tee instead of the big driver, just to make sure he gets it where it needs to be. And here's Tom Burgess looking to take it back. He's had a decent impact, hasn't he, while he's been on the field, Tom Burgess?
Well, his club form in the NRL is continuing to the international field because he's been fantastic.
Likewise, George as well. It's a real shame for George Burgess, who missed the World Cup, of course, that he's not able to play here because of that injury. It'll be interesting to see all three Burgess brothers on the field. Oh, here's an opportunity for Makinson. McGilvray following that initial run-up with another big effort down the middle. But the last play is next.
Good set this from the kickoff, really is.
Bateman, here's Connor, looking to measure this. Looks to have got it pretty perfect as well, but Martin Zelezniak is up in the air, will claim he was challenged in mid-air. The referee says you were, so the penalty goes to New Zealand.
He's been fantastic, that guy, really has. Again, he's taking some difficult kicks. That's having to take it in a different manner, but gets well above Ryan Hall, reels the kick in, and he is taken out in the air, so referee Ben Thaler quite correct.
The Denver cheerleaders out there keeping everyone entertained. They've been very much a part of the publicity as well, haven't they? Getting people involved in this match here locally. Asafa Solomona still going, 48 minutes. There's a motor in there, isn't there? Here's Luke again. Tapau. Just inside the England half. Taken by Luke. Fisher-Harris. Step back here by Tapin. Good offload, good hands. Opportunity for Isaka on that right-hand side. Tried the flick, but Hall is back there to cover, and England survive what was a scary moment.
Well, that was a bit like McGilvray in the first half. Third tackle, fourth play there, and put boot to ball, and really that's an error for New Zealand, but some delightful skill in the build-up. It really was.
Completion rate is interesting there. England's is better. Makinson dragged down by Asafa Solomona.
He can feel very happy with his debut as well, can Tommy Makers, both him and Connor.
James Graham hitting hard. Ratchford was there searching for scraps, didn't come, so Roby out of dummy half to Widdop. Widdop again with a kick. England's chase is a distance behind, and the kick takes a wicked bounce from England's point of view. So it's a seven tackle set. Those are the words, trying to get them out in the right order. All the right words, just in the wrong order. This is the first we've seen, isn't it, from a kick that's gone too long?
Yes.
We've seen a catch on the full in the Ingle area, but for a kick that's gone too long, we suspected we might see a few of those. Not so far. Slade Griffin on the field now in the dummy halves position, the number 14. Look with the Newcastle Knights. Aussie born, but he was brought up in Greymouth. Asafa Solomona. We're getting sick of saying his name. Griffin again. Tapau.
Yeah, there was Cameron Smith's understood it, wasn't he? So if he's learned something from him, he'll be a good one.
Pick up here from Griffin again. Pass forced by Nicarima. Masters. He needs coping with. He's got the offload back to Nicarima. Temari Martin searching for a little bit of glory here. Offers it back to Tapi. Like boxers exchanging jabs.
Well, they held the line really well there, England. Nobody jumped the line or panicked. Just kept the discipline.
Griffin. Well, it's not a great delivery, but Nicarima will pick it up. Naitala Mariner back to the middle again. Here's Griffin. He'll be reminded that he's on the last tackle. Well, the tackle count seems to have been lost. There's still one to go. Referee with the arm in the air. Nicarima. No look pass from him. Naitala Mariner can't find a way through.
And again, another power play, another running of the ball on the last tackle, and It's a decent enough tactic, because you can see there England just 3 metres or so from their own goal line, and it's a heck of a long way to the other end.
Just to kind of underline, we talk about the lack of experience in this New Zealand side and the number of debutants that they have out there as Hall takes it forward. Slade Griffin, who's just come on, is winning his first cap. But he is 27 and he's been around an awful long time. A grand final winner with Melbourne, as you said, off the bench as an understudy to Cameron Smith, and these days at Newcastle. So we are looking at some very seasoned NRL players out there in the black shirts of New Zealand. They ain't no rookies, not for the most part. Roby. O'Loughlin. Widdop with a kick and a chase, and it's a good chase as well. Here's Makinson with a pass back on the inside. It's a bit of magic made from nowhere, which Elliot Whitehead will finish. And England, for the very first time in North America, have a lead in a test match against New Zealand by 16 points to 12.
What a delightful piece of play there from Gareth Widdop. And that's what you want half-backs to do, half-backs to assess the situation, play with their eyes up. And that's exactly what he did. He just saw the wingman was up, toe poked it behind. Great composure from Tommy Makers there to retrieve the ball and just pass it inside to Elliot Whitehead supporting. But I just love the decision-making there from Gareth Widdop. He just assessed the situation with one glance, came up with the right decision, executed the skill with a lovely little grubber kick behind the defensive line, and well done Makinson and Whitehead for finishing it off.
And terrific work there from Makinson. I mean, a lot of people watching on tonight, not necessarily rugby league fans. Makinson knew he was going to get absolutely smashed when he got that ball away. But the instinct to deliver the pass and the bravery to take what was coming, and England score an easy try.
You don't enter the field of play in this game, David, unless you're a brave man. And Tommy Makinson exemplifies that every time he carries the ball. And obviously he did that there with a lovely little inside pass, where you can catch the wallop as well. But I'll tell you what, he won't feel that. He's happier with the 4 points on the scoreboard.
The shoulder came flying at him, but Whitehead was grateful to go unopposed for his second try of the night. 6 tries he's now scored for England, Elliot Whitehead. 16th appearance. 16
unanswered points as well for England. They really have grown. I think Brian Noble used that word at half-time in the studio, grown into the game, and they're now blossoming. He's a good player, is Gareth Widdop, isn't he? I mean, he's having a great season in Australia with St George, and he really is an established international halfback. Yeah. And he really loves the international game, doesn't he?
He loves playing for England, as we said before about those tattoos. Those proud tattoos he wears on his body, and his kick is good. It's 3 out of 4, 18 points to 12. And let us not forget, he was exceptional as a fullback in the World Cup, wasn't he? Had to play there almost unplanned because of the injury to Lomax.
That's a great kick, though, as he took it right to the line, assessed the situation, took it to the line, and then that's a brave play as well. He'll cop that, will Tommy, for the 4 points.
It's Whitehead's name that goes up in lights. So 18 points to 12. It was looking a little glum with half an hour played, and again New Zealand have overcooked the kickoff, and it'll be a penalty again for England back on the halfway line.
Yeah, communication there, I think, from Widdop and Hill. I think Gareth Widdop made sure that Chris Hill was informed, shall we say, to leave the ball, and he certainly did, and it's now a penalty at halfway. And with how this ball's travelling when it's kicked, you can see England tapping the ball about 20 metres or so from the Kiwi goal line.
Well, might they go for goal here? I think they might be going for goal, you know. Yeah. Gareth Widdop, who in practice this week did actually kick a 60-yarder in this stadium, will consider that 50 yards right in front of the sticks is almost a gimme here.
I won't call it a gimme, Dave, but
in these conditions
it's certainly kickable for a player, a goal kicker of his quality.
A reminder, if you missed it earlier, we're playing at altitude here. And that's why the ball flies as far as it does. And on another occasion, he might not have even considered that. But that was a stroke of the boot and an easy 2 points. And England significantly now have a 2-score lead.
Yeah, that makes it 20 unanswered points. And as you rightly say, 8 points to the good, or 2 scores. So it's New Zealand now who are under the pressure to have the response. Or do England simply kick on and come away with a convincing victory?
As Tanya explained right at the top of the programme, it's called the Mile High Stadium for a reason. It's a mile above sea level. Rugby. Here's Whitehead. Just an honest search down the middle from O'Loughlin. Graham. Capable of big surging efforts, but equally capable of giving that little soft handy pass when he reaches the line. Keeps defenders guessing. Rugby again. O'Loughlin in at dummy half with Rugby otherwise engaged with a kick towards the corner. This looks a good one. Yep, they're not going to gamble. New Zealand will get the ball back, but only 10 metres from their own line.
But when you consider you've received the ball from the kickoff and you're actually turning the ball over in a scrum situation 10 metres from the opposition line, with your defensive line, you've walked to the scrum, you've got some oxygen in the lungs, it's a set defensive line. Real clever play from Whitehead.
I'm not sure if we're going to get much of a stop here. There's another water break scheduled in this second half, but not just for a moment. So Myri Martin will feed the scrum. New Zealand with distance to cover. Nomala with a first effort. England desperate to keep New Zealand's gain to a minimum here. Tapau. Griffin out of dummy half. Lovely little inside ball again to try to release Watene Zelezniak, but he's covered well by Rugby. New Zealand travelling well here though, and here's Hiku with a threat and the ball back on the inside. Wonderful covering tackle from Whitehead. Not only stopping New Zealand in their tracks, but also springing that ball free as well.
Yeah, but they were really testing the England defence there with the little inside balls, the quick plays. It's tremendous scramble defence, isn't it, from Ellie White? Isn't a stonker of a game there. Not only, as you've rightly said, Dave, affecting the scramble defence tackle, but also jarring the ball free and getting the head and feet for England. A good old game.
Well, Whitehead is playing his part here. Bradford, Catalan and Canberra, his journey in Club Rugby League. McGilvray, who's never wandered too far away from Huddersfield, other than in England colours, is obviously hurt there. Ball to his feet, Roby goes left. Percival singled out by those New Zealand defenders. Roby again. Sam Burgess, what have you made of Sam's part here tonight?
I think he's been a good leader, not to tell you the truth. Very efficient. I've been very impressed with this fella.
Has thrown defenders off him and is making tracks. Rexford to his right-hand side. Ain't that a confident touch? He has just arrived on the international stage. Jake Connor, 2 try assists in the first half and a very special try in the second. And now there's daylight between England and New Zealand.
If there was going to be one player on this field who was going to make a break and then come up to the fullback and throw an outrageous dummy, it'd be this guy. But look at the footwork there and the strength to make the initial break. But it's just, oh, you're not getting the ball, Stefan. I'm having this. What a great individual try from Jake Connor. Love his footwork, love his strength. but most of all, I love what's coming up. There you are, Zalesniak. Take that. Bought it from the tailors. Great dummy.
I mean, if he bombs that, he's in trouble with his coach, isn't he? But he never even entered his head that he was going to bomb that.
He could see the headlines tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, we spoke earlier about, we all had discussions before the programme started about the substitutes bench. But what do we know? You know, Wayne Bennett's picked 2-3 quarters on there, and it's been a masterstroke. Jake Connor's been great, Tommy Makerson's been great, and it hasn't affected the middle channel because of Bateman's involvement moving in there. So good on him, great selection.
Well, he's made a habit of making a nuisance of himself this year, Jake Connor. He's been in the ear of just about every Super League player, but tonight he's making friends and influencing people in terrific style as an England international. And Gareth Widdop, very much more the seasoned pro in this environment, with a chance to make it look even better for England here. And we've still got 20 minutes to play. And you look at the New Zealand side, the body language. Are they beginning to think that this game is running away from them? And do they have a response? Well, there's the kick to make it 26 points to 12. And at 14 points up, it's England's to grab a real hold of here. We're going to have a water break, I think, at the end of that. I think everybody is going to be very grateful for that as well. So don't forget the Super League show, the latest round of Super League action. You can see at 7 AM on the 3rd of July. It'll also be on the iPlayer throughout the week. And the Challenge Cup semi-final, the 5th of August. You'll want to be there. If not, you'll want to watch it on BBC One that afternoon. It's St Helens against Catalan, Leeds against Warrington. Both matches back-to-back from Bolton's Macron Stadium. And the final itself on the 25th of August from Wembley Stadium, that big occasion, 2 PM on that day. And then a 3-match test series, beginning with the first test on the 27th of October and coming weekly thereafter. That first match at 2 PM. So let's hear from the gents in the studio. Brian Noble, Justin Holbrook, John Wilkie. What are you making of this second half so far? Well, it's terrific so far. I mean, we were raising our eyebrows when we saw that 17-man squad about what Wayne Bennett's doing here with Makinson and Connor on the bench. It just didn't look to be a 17 that had balance. But then he is a 7-times grand final winning coach, twice coach of Australia, most successful coach in Australian history, and been coaching since he started at Surfs in Brisbane since 1977, so he clearly knows what he's talking about, John Keir, and it's worked magically so far tonight. It
certainly has, yes. He's coached a game or two, hasn't he? And I think that shows it. He knows how to prepare a team. He knows how to get a team playing as one. And my word, it's showing tonight. It's been a really good performance, and 26 unanswered points. And at the minute, all you can see is further English scores.
And I tell you what, it doesn't half make the mouth water for those 3 test matches coming up in autumn, which you'll see on the BBC, as we said, in Hull and Liverpool and Leeds. You'll want to be at those. If not, you'll want to be watching it on BBC television. Roby. 5 gone. Here's a little chip again. Martin Zalesniak drawn out from his pocket in defence, but a safe take and a good quick play the ball as well. Marie Martin.
Well, the game needs a response from New Zealand, doesn't it, really, for the neutral viewers. Although any England fans will be hoping it's more of the same.
Could be a good weekend for English sport. England's rugby union players successful a little earlier in their last match in South Africa. England's footballers looking to progress in the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup tomorrow. And, of course, just for the sake of Justin in the studio, England's cricketers looking for a 5-0 whitewash at Old Trafford in the cricket tomorrow as well. And England's rugby league players are playing their part so far here tonight. That's a penalty. No, referee says get up and play it. Here's Hall. This is Connor. What a debut he's had, Jake Connor, tonight. He'll remember his day out in Denver for a long, long time. McGilvray.
Again, the three quarters are really doing the hard work out and helping the big forward pack out by getting them going forward, and then quick play, and off that man goes for the umpteenth time in his career.
I was going to say, we've been singing the praises of Asafa Solomona and all the work he's done, but do not take anything away from the work that James Roby does. Not only tonight, but week in, week out.
I'm going to say, I think we just expect it, don't we? You know, you're just used to seeing a performance excellence from the fella.
Here's Hiku. New Zealand looking for a foothold back. And the offload has given, say, Mairi Martin a chance to bring New Zealand further forward.
That's a tired team, isn't it? That's a tired team, the New Zealand side.
And that was Slade Griffin, who's relatively been on the field a short time. Here he comes, rolling it at dummy half again. Tapau. Zlatan Zalesniak. Looking for any potential holes in the middle. Fisher-Harris dealt with. Nikarima. Cody Nikarima. Tapau. Oh, there's a juggle, and the ball is lost, and Whitehead's there, and off he gallops. Can he go 70 yards for his hat-trick? He'll look for support, he'll dummy round anyone who tries to catch him. Now he gets it away, and here's a chance for Tommy Makinson on his debut to get over the line. What a night it's been to make your debut for England. What a night it's been for English Rugby League. They're out of sight now, surely.
Fantastic. So pleased for Tommy Makinson. I think he's been one of the best wingers in Super League for a number of years, and he really has blossomed this season particularly. But there, New Zealand pushing the ball, but we were remarking how tired they look, and Whitehead took full advantage of that, and a great bit of composure here. He knew he was being chased down, just slowed up, looked for his support, and I'll tell you, if you're going to have a foot race with this fella, you're not going to beat him. That's a real good try. Well done, Elliot Whitehead, for his assist. Scored a couple and now assisted one. And congratulations, Mr. Makinson, on a try on your international debut. Great work.
Oh, Wade Bennett, uncharacteristically for him, must be beaming from ear to ear at the moment. Inside, if not out, because injuries coming into this. One or two players playing tonight who might not have been involved had the full selection being available, but those players really are taking their chances and taking their opportunities here tonight.
Oh, there'll be a little scratching of the heads, won't there, when you really analyse what Connor and Makinson have brought to the party, and also what the established players have done. You know, I think Mark Percival can feel happy as well with his contribution. Two wingers have done well, so it's been a really, really good team performance.
Well, we sit back and enjoy from here on in, I think, because there's surely no way back for New Zealand from this position. We shall wait and see. England online for a potential record win here. I don't think they've ever scored 30 points before against New Zealand as England. I think the best before was 27 in 1975, so that's going back a time or two. So this is now, with my mathematics, and those are not to be trusted all the times, but my mathematics is that this is a record win for England against New Zealand, and there's a slight concern, the fact that Jake Connors having to come off with what looks to be a shoulder injury. Whitehead doesn't miss many of these and adds the 2 to make it 32 points to 12. So it's now a 4-score lead for what that matters. Well, England surely are going to win this here from now.
Oh, they've got the game won, and now it's a matter, and it's very rarely you can say this as an England fan, to just sit back and enjoy it. And you know, James Rugby there taking a breather. What's he doing coming off with 14 minutes left?
Well, I think we might see him back on again. Although I'm sure his coach is watching on and thinking, no, just keep him off, because he's... Well, they've done it again. They've done it again. 3 times, New Zealand. They don't learn, and they've given England another cheap penalty on the halfway line. They cannot control the kickoffs. Is Whitehead ready to go for another 50-yarder here? Or do England set up camp for another try?
Yeah, they'll be kicking deep into touch with the tap restart, possibly 20-30 metres out from the New Zealand line.
So just to confirm, and Rugby League statistics, certainly on the international stage when it involves England, are a little clouded, because of course England played as Great Britain for quite a few years. But as England, this is a record score against New Zealand. But it is only the 17th meeting since 1908. Sam Burgess. John Bateman occupied a lot of roles in England's colours. Looks as though he's going to be operating at dummy half here. Lomax. There's Bateman again. England sensing an opportunity for more. Hill. Whitehead. Taken high by Iko, but has ridden the challenge. Bateman. Here's Graham. Big sliding step off his right foot, but pinned nonetheless, and he's hurt himself. Clash of heads maybe with Waria Hargreaves. Whitehead with a lovely offload. Ratchford with a pass that looks suspiciously forward, but England are keeping it alive. The referee says play on. They're on the 6th tattle. Bateman thinks about a kick, knows he has to get rid of it desperately, pops one over the top. Not only of the defenders, but of Ryan Hall as well. And New Zealand survived that scare and get the ball back.
Yeah, a bit sloppy that, wasn't it? But I think you can feel the intensity's just dropped, hasn't it? I mean, I think all the 34 players know that this game's over. And it's been played in very, very difficult conditions and handled very, very well by England.
There we saw Wayne Bennett, the England coach, the Australian, who will be in charge of England for the series this autumn. Here's Isaac Luke with a good break as well. Watene Zelezniak, who we know has got pace, and when he senses the line, does not give up the opportunity easily. Well, the square's in the air here. The referee's having another look at this. What does he say on the field? He says try. Well, does this give the Kiwis a foothold back in the game? Or has any hope long since been extinguished?
Well, I think it's the latter, but it certainly gives them heart. And if there's one guy who deserves it, it's Watene Zelezniak, because he's been fantastic for New Zealand tonight. And again, the break came, and through he went.
Quick one. I think they were just looking at the grounding, and the try has been confirmed, so 32-16. Which will be 32-18 in a blink of an eye, you'd have thought. Still a 3-score lead for England.
It is, yes, it is. But I'm pleased for that guy, because I think he's been really, really good. Been very accomplished defensively and been a handful when he's attacked. And again, it's that just tracking down the inside, offload created the bust for Isaac Luke, and he's tracking there on the shoulder of Luke and ready to finish for a very good try indeed.
So another 2 points should be added. 32-18 on the back of this, if and when he's successful. But they have to score 3 more times to get their noses ahead, and time is ticking by. And the way England are playing, you'd fancy them to score another try or two before the hooter sounds. It's a game here that is looking to establish rugby league, or help establish rugby league in North America. Of course, the Toronto Wolfpack doing a terrific job and potentially on their way to Super League next year. A World Cup being held in the USA and Canada in 2025, already planned. And there is some lively activity at ground roots level as well, both in Canada and the USA. I know the supporters of the Chicago Stockyarders will be listening out. They've been running a successful competition in the Midwest for a couple of years now. Their game's coming up in August, so if you happen to be watching this and are heading towards Chicago in August, then maybe look out for the Stockyarders and their opponents for those series of matches.
Well, I'll tell you, anybody North Americans who've come live to this game and watched this for the first time, they'll be fans of this game. It's been really entertaining. 50 points scored, some great skills, some tough defence, and some clever play as well.
Little dummy by Nicarima. Offload to Griffin. Inside for Temairi Martin. Back where it all started with Nicarima. Fisher-Harris legged up. 40 metres out, but New Zealand are travelling well here. Retains Lesnar, good hands, and quickly it comes. Esse got it away as well, but the handling eventually is poor. Ayatollah Marina. Apologies, by the way, if you picked up any language there. We do have microphones on the field, and it can get passionate at times, so if you were offended by anything you might just have heard, we do apologise.
Yeah, shame it came to an end like that, because again, there's some good offload work and some good support play. But I think the fact that Ayatollah Marina put the ball down as he did, that's an indication that his petrol tank's running on empty, I think.
8 minutes to go. Fine performance on balance by England, trailing 12-0 with 30 minutes played, but since then they have looked sparkling. Here's Hall, that was high. Warrior Hargreaves. Easy penalty for Ben Thaler to give. Michael Maguire knows he's got a lot of work to do. But this New Zealand squad.
You've seen signs, haven't you, of improvement from the World Cup.
It's going to be a terrific series.
It is, it is. But that's a bit of an illegal challenge there from Warrior Hargreaves, known as a bit of an uncompromising front row. And I think that's a bit of an uncompromising challenge, as well as being illegal.
Tonga are coming up the rankings, aren't they, in terms of their performances in the World Cup and the earlier Test match today when they beat Samoa. But it's still the big three, really. Australia #1. And we started this game with New Zealand as the second-ranked nation, despite their failings at the World Cup. England in third. I think England will be fairly confident of finishing this calendar year second only to Australia. They'll have the bit between their teeth to beat the Kiwis in that series. There's Whitehead, Bateman, searching out Asafa Solomona. Esse is there to help as well.
Until John Baines earned his money as well, hasn't he, tonight, with
Scott Taylor at dummy half.
Yeah, played centre, second row, played 9.
Here's Ratchford on the last play. Little step away by Widdop, and just takes the tackle, knowing that New Zealand will have the ball, but only 5 yards from their own line.
Very heartening, this, isn't it?
From an English point of view,
yeah, it really is.
Look. That's up for Solomona. You can hear the crunching, and the offload is good as well. Marmalu.
They lost something, New Zealand, while he was off the field, didn't they? They really did.
Nikarima. Masters. You'd rather fancy it as a winger playing on the outside of Essen Masters, wouldn't you? He can make the breaks, and he's got the offload. Oh, and here's another man with a break. Temari Martin. Picked up by Isaac Luke. Throwing away the challenge. Taking New Zealand a little closer. 6 minutes to play. Now it's Masters again. Pokes it into the in-goal area. Should be watched out of play. They are short in goals. And coolly watched out of play by Gareth Whittup for England's tap back on the 20.
Yeah, he's been really good as well, hasn't he, Whittup? As he's gained more experience, his decision-making's improved. He's a very, very composed player. But once again, the direct running from the New Zealanders causing problems. There's some good defence there by the last line of defence, Stephen Ratchford.
7 tackle count here, so that will be the 0 tackle. McGilvray takes it in. Don't believe necessarily what you see on his screen. Here's Bateman. Ryan Hall. Taylor. Bateman again. Graham. That big awkward body of his. But he has some athleticism wrapped up in amongst those muscles. Bateman. Lomax, well, just looking for touch here to run the clock down. They've done their job, and now it's a case of seeing the game through and managing time.
They've done the job very well as well. It really is job well done. Not only from a results perspective and a performance perspective, but also with regard to spreading the game as well. Because, as I say, it's been very, very entertaining indeed. Contrasting styles. Plus points to both styles. Great individual touches.
Four minutes of the game remaining. England in complete control. New Zealand overwhelmed in the end. Asafar Solomona. Warrior Hargreaves. Look, snaps it up, goes hunting for something again down this left-hand side. If not for him, for someone else maybe. Here's Peter Hiku. So they're on the last. There's Marmala. Arm in the air from the referee. One play to go. Nikarima. Chip on the chase for himself. Easy pick up for Ratchford. Nikarima at least did the job of tackling his man. He and his younger brother Jaden, both born in New Zealand, but have lived in Australia for some time. And Cody's pinned his mast to the New Zealand flag, as you can see. Or the flag to the mast, I should say. Whereas Jaden has gone to the Sydney Roosters. He fancies getting in the Australian lineup at some time. So that could be interesting down the years if they play against each other for New Zealand and Australia. Here's McGilvray.
He's done some work, hasn't he, Jermaine McGilvray? I think all the three quarters for England have really rolled the sleeves up and dug in when required, and it's been essential in conditions like this.
Lomax. Bateman spins left to find Whittup, who again is just looking for the easy way out, if you like. A touch finder that again sees the clock ticking down.
Nice left-footed kick there as well, just show his dexterity.
Saturday night in Denver becomes Thursday night back home. We just saw Ryan Hall. I think he's due to play on Thursday night against Wigan, Leeds against Wigan. Likewise, John Bateman.
Yep. Well, they can feel very happy with their efforts tonight. But it will be back to club allegiance upon return to this country.
So New Zealand looking to spring something at the very end here into the final 2 minutes, and that's a very typical New Zealand effort, but it's come to naught in the end as Whitehead collects that loose pass, and England now have an opportunity to finish this game with an even bigger smile on their face. Tom Burgess pushing forward. So 4 plays to go for England to cap this with another try. Here's Graham. Slow to his feet, Bateman. Hill. Little shuffle, the props shuffle as he takes it into the line. 2 tackles to go. They are within sight of where they want to be. Bateman. Quick hands. And a reach here. Sam Burgess is going to be held up just short.
Nice hands, wasn't it, from Scott Taylor?
Last play, Bateman is going himself. Well, he's over the line. The question is, has he put it down? The referee's nodding here. I think he's going to give it. He's going to give it. John Bateman from dummy half. Well, what are the odds on that at the start of the evening?
Well, he just fancied, I'm going to finish this game early, and I may as well do it by scoring a try. And it was just determination, wasn't it? But really low as well. Very clever. How low he was. You think he played dummy half all his life? Because nice and low, great leg drive. And he's just got that grit, desire, determination to end up and plonk the ball over the whitewash.
Look at that, look at that. Well, he's only 24 years of age, John Bateman. It feels like he's been around forever, because as a kid, when he was captaining the England Academy side, I think a lot of people thought he was going to be a special talent then. And he's really blossomed, first as a Bradford player, then as a Wigan player. Now he's scoring tries from dummy half for England. And the hooter has sounded in the background for that England win. There's still a kick to come here. I'm sure Gareth Whitehead is not going to give up the opportunity to add another 2 points to his international tally. Fantastic. In fact, it's James Graham who's with a big smile on his face. It's he who's going to finish affairs here tonight. I've not got a statistical record of this, but I suspect this might be his first ever conversion for England if he puts it over. Little slap of the thigh. Has he got 2 points? No, he's not. He's put it wide. And he'll probably be absolutely disgusted with himself at that. But what a win for England, 36 points to 18. We're going to be getting some reaction out on the field, I'm sure, when we hear from James Hooper, our reporter down there.
Fantastic,
great
nice
win.
Entertainment, though, as it's been a great, nice entertainment and very satisfying indeed for England. But also, you feel New Zealand are edging the way back up as well. I think Michael Maguire will take many positives from that. But the best team won, and the best team won by that scoreline because of the performance levels. And some really, really good efforts, individual efforts, as well as collective efforts from the men in white.
Well, the New Zealand side in embryo started the night well, but it was the finished article of England that made sure they came home with a win, and a wonderful win as well. Congratulations all round. They've been in mortal combat for about 80 minutes or so, and now they have a laugh and a smile. Raymond Faetala-Mariner and James Graham. I think we're going to be hearing from Sam Burgess in just a while as well. Captain England, of course, in the World Cup final last December, but back to the understudies role with the return of Sean O'Loughlin here tonight. Great win for England. Wayne Bennett on the field congratulating, and here we are. Sam Burgess is with James Hooper.
Ridiculous heat and ridiculous altitude. Big Sammy, how you feeling?
I'm pretty tired. That was a tough game. The altitude at the first 20 minutes was as fatigued as I've ever been in a game. So, but it's been a great week. It's been successful. I know there'll be the critics, but I thought both teams played with passion and heart and effort, and that's what Test football is all about. So, It's great to be, and another good chance for us to play together as a team.
I just saw your coach, Wayne Bennett, come up, embrace you and say thank you. He obviously appreciates what you've just done.
Yeah, he asked if I could play 80 today, and I thought it'd be a big ask, but pushed it out and managed to get there. But it's a good team effort. I just thought we worked hard for each other. We only had 2 forwards on the bench, so some of our smaller guys carried the ball well for us today, and we got some breakaway tries and defended well when we needed to.
You touched on the fact that it was test match football. Tell you what, it got a little bit spicy there at times.
Yeah, it was physical. The game was physical. I don't know if it went that way it looked that way on TV, but it was physical out here. They've got some big boys, and it got fiery. The Kiwis have got a point to prove. England were coming off the back of a World Cup campaign, so it's always going to get a bit fiery. So I thought it was a great game of football.
Nice touch as well, Rusty Crowe's in the crowd. Have you said g'day, or do you get to catch up after the game?
No, it was nice. A nice moment just before we were about to run out. He called with me and Thomas and Isaac just in the tunnel, and he told me he was coming over, so it's great. It's great to see him. Great for the game. The fans love Big Rusty. And I think Rizza from Wu-Tang Clan's here as well, so there's a few cool dudes in the crowd.
Congratulations, Sammy. That was an absolutely epic performance.
Yeah, thanks, Hoops. Cheers, mate.